I decided to major in occupational science and occupational therapy because I've always really liked working with children or people with disabilities. Going to USC was their great program in occupational therapy and occupational science.
The faculty here is great. Half the stuff that we read in our books and articles is written by the faculty here.
The leaders in OT are here right now.
I've been mentored by so many great therapists, and I've had the opportunity to work with all these different populations. And it just helped me to realize how universal and global occupation is and how it's relevant to everyone.
Occupational therapy really is the profession of my generation because there are just so many things that are happening in our society right now, from obesity to stress management to this high-speed lifestyle that really is going to be challenged by the occupational therapy profession. So that is something that I am really passionate about pursuing and feel like engaging in this profession is going to help me make an impact in society in a number of ways.
I was considering social work and also counseling psychology and OT, but occupational therapy seemed like something where I could work with people on more concrete skills than those other fields. And also seemed like something that really appreciated how what people do affects how they feel. I really like that philosophy.
Let's name her Elizabeth June Yerxa.
And we can call her Betty.
She looks just like you, honey.
Oh.
Elizabeth Yerxa realized that her interests were unusually broad: people, human sciences, philosophy, spiritual values, helping others, working with her hands, and reading. She puzzled over what work fit her and what she would need to study. Then she discovered an article in 17 magazine describing the little-known profession of occupational therapy and had an immediate aha moment. Elizabeth June Yerxa.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Yerxa's career first started at a clinic in California that worked with children who had cerebral palsy. She moved on to be a faculty member at the College of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington. Her later work included a position as a teacher's assistant at Boston University and research coordinator in OT at Rancho Los Amigos Hospital. She ended her career at the University of Southern California. Starting as an associate professor, she became the chairperson of the Department of OT, and she remained the emeritus professor till retirement.
Presenting the Eleanor Clarke Stagle Lectureship Award of 1966. This award is an academic honor established as a memorial to Eleanor Clarke Stagle, one of the outstanding pioneers in the profession of occupational therapy. This profession has shown understanding knowledge in this field through research, education, and clinical practice. This award is awarded to Elizabeth Yerxa. Congratulations. The American Occupational Therapy Association now presents the Award of Merit of 1987. This is the highest AOTA honor for an occupational therapist. This professional has provided global contribution to the profession of occupational therapy. We are awarding this to Elizabeth Yerxa. Congratulations. The Occupational Science Symposium of 1988. This is a premier academic event held at the University of Southern California to celebrate and recognize the emerging academic discipline of occupational science. We are awarding this to Elizabeth Yerxa. Congratulations. The A. Jean Ayers Award of 1990 recognizes occupational therapists, clinicians, educators, and researchers who have demonstrated and sustained commitment to the application, development, or testing theory in occupational therapy. This award is given to Elizabeth Yerxa. Congratulations. Elizabeth Yerxa has been given the honor of being a Distinguished Professor Emerita in 1991. This is awarded very selectively to those whose accomplishments have brought special renown to the University of Southern California. She will now say a few words.
Thank you for this honor of presenting me with these awards. I appreciate the knowledge of all of the hard work. I love the profession of OT and OS wholeheartedly, and I'm excited to see the continuous involvement of this profession.
The article that we chose to discuss is Occupational Science, A Renaissance of Service to Humankind Through Knowledge by Elizabeth J. Yerxa, 2000. One of the most exciting pathways of my lifelong professional journey is the road to the development of occupational science. I welcome the opportunity to explore this terrain with my esteemed colleagues from all over the planet who have joined in our adventure. We search for new ideas which can contribute to the renaissance of service to humankind by an occupational therapy profession, which defines itself through knowledge while being true to its values and traditions. The journey begins with the context of the birth of occupational science. What local and global conditions foster the search for such a powerful set of ideas? Then, how did our version of occupational science develop at the University of Southern California? What are some of the important ideas which seem fruitful for investigation by occupational scientists in the year 2000? And finally, what implications might occupational science hold for our profession as we enter a new millennium? And now we will go to our student panel and Dr. Elizabeth Yerxa herself to answer some of the questions addressed in the summary of this article.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our professor and student presentation. We will be discussing Dr. Elizabeth Yerxa's article titled Occupational Science, A Renaissance of Service to Humankind Through Knowledge. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Yerxa, Lindsay, and Denise. So our first question is, what impresses you about this writing?
We are impressed by her drive and her determination to create the discipline of occupational science at the University of Southern California.
Okay. This article also addresses the holistic approach that occupational therapists and occupational science use in their profession and discipline.
And then why did you choose to discuss it?
We chose to discuss this article because the article discusses how occupational science relates to occupational therapy, and this is our main focus of study at this point in our curriculum for the Masters of Occupational Therapy program.
To add on to that, occupational science is a foundation for our bachelor's degree. Before starting our master's, it helps us understand the importance of scholarly work in our field of study.
So what about this piece of writing speaks to you as a student of occupational science and as a future healthcare professional?
Well, it links us as future occupational therapists to having a foundation of knowledge of the profession and an appropriate scope of practice through scholarly work. Understanding occupation first helps us better treat patients in need of occupational therapy. and we're able to address their needs in an individualized, goal-directed way that is meaningful to that patient.
We also noticed this article was done after Yerxa retired, so it's a compiled wealth of knowledge from all of her years of experience.
And one thing that I would like to convey to students is our profession has only just begun to reach its potential for serving humankind around the world. It isn't finished yet, and both in its practice and its scientific foundation. And that's where you guys come in. It is well known that people who contribute to the original creative ideas in any field are primarily those who are new in the field. Becoming a scholar and contributing to your new and fresh ideas to the profession is what we're all about.
How has or will the scholar's work add to or change the way we understand people and occupation?
Before starting the semester, I didn't know what the difference between OS and OT was. Elizabeth Yerxa is a great person to help us as students understand the differences of OS and OT, but also how they work together.
How has this person's work influenced occupational science as you understand it?
Well, her work influences our understanding of occupational science by helping us realize that occupations bring meaning to a person's life, regardless of disability or impairment.
And at USC, we decided as a faculty that the profession needed a creative source of new knowledge to improve and validate practice instead of basing practice on tradition and trial and error. We believe that as occupational therapists needed to be the ones who develop this knowledge, not members of other disciplines. We have been working for several years to identify the areas of interdisciplinary science that might be most fruitful for theory, research, and education. All of our thinking began with the problems and dilemmas that arose in practice that needed knowledge-based solutions. From this, we developed our conceptual model that became the basis of our PhD curriculum in occupational science.
I live in High Sierra Mountains of California. I love hiking in the mountains, reading, writing, and counseling people who have great challenges in daily living. I still teach at professional conferences occasionally. I'm going to be presenting a paper in Ireland in September 2013.